Here is Immortal Moments for explanation. Friends, like videos and subscribes to our channel. Swallowed Star 2 Land of Origin Part 24 Explanation. So let's start our explanation. Luo Feng had not yet returned to Huyang City, but news of Shui Yun's assassination had already reached Huyang City ahead of him. Inside the entire Huyang City, all clients of the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall received a message: the assassination task of Divine Monarch Shui Yun had been completed. Inside the city owner's mansion. "It's done," Molly Meng exclaimed. This. Wu Kulu, although also anticipating this outcome, still couldn't believe it when the news from the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall came in. They really killed Shui Yun. The Lord of Huyang City remarked, "Initially, we even thought about teaching Luo He a lesson. Looking back now, it's fortunate we did not act." "Luo He's strength is indeed above mine," said General Yong seriously from the side, looking across all the eternal true gods in the entire Yu Kingdom. Only a few could compare with him. As for surpassing him, the Yu Kingdom has no stronger eternal true god than him now. The leaders of the 5 great families were all shocked. These branches of great clans that had come to Huyang City held a lower status within their respective clans. One of the pinnacle eternal true gods in the entire Yu Kingdom? That was a presence cherished by the godly kings, nurtured with ample resources, bright and shining. How could these family branches compare? Shui Yun is not an unlimited godly body, but his realm was immensely high. I really didn't expect Luo He could actually kill him. General Yong had confronted Shui Yun before and was well aware of Shui Yun's strength. Should we go outside the city to meet him? Molly Meng suddenly asked. Of course we should greet him, the Lord of Huyang laughed loudly. From now on, Lord Luo He will be the most important friend of our city owner's mansion. I will also go to greet him, said General Yong, who admired the strong. Let's go. The leaders of the 5 great families, General Yong and Molly Meng, 7 individuals in total, immediately left the city owner's mansion and used void shuttling to arrive directly at the East City Gate, patiently waiting for the soon-to-return Lord Luo He. At this moment, the hearts of all eternal true gods within Huyang City were passionately stirred. In the Liu Yin primal chaos state of Shi Kingdom, 2 of the 5 gods of Yuqian, Yuqian Shu, Yuqian Yi, had been assassinated one after another, impacting over 80 billion creatures. Now, the Divine Monarch Shui Yun, with a bounty as high as 10 million cosmic sand, was also killed, all on this very night. 10 million cosmic sand. Who could have killed Shui Yun? A strong figure from the city owner's mansion, or some mysterious strong figure? The bounty just increased tonight, and Shui Yun, Yuqian Shu, Yuqian Yi, the 3 of them are all dead. The reward really works indeed. It seems that Huyang City harbors a terrifying being, someone who can be motivated to act if there's enough reward. All the eternal true gods were astonished and also filled with reverence. They would have to act more carefully in Huyang City from now on, not be too reckless. If they inadvertently offended the terrifying being who killed Shui Yun, they feared they wouldn't withstand even a single move. Inside the Heavenly Flame Sect, many disciples were still grieving in the square, lamenting their powerlessness and mourning the unshakable Divine Monarch Shui Yun. As their sorrow had not yet subsided, good news arrived. The Divine Monarch Shui Yun, with a bounty of 10 million cosmic sand, was killed. Shui Yun is dead. Ha ha. That old demon finally died. Master, Shui Yun is dead. Master, fellow brothers and sisters, your vengeance has finally been avenged. The entire Heavenly Flame Sect was exhilarated, and some disciples who had been packing their belongings returned to the square, overwhelmed with excitement. Sect leader, Shui Yun is dead. Uncle Chiu knew the news and also cried excitedly, well aware of what the sect leader had sacrificed his life for. The efforts of the sect leader had paid off. Zheng Shui Yun is dead. The Dream Flower Tower master sat alone in her small tower, her expression complicated. This night was too dreamlike. Shong Qianyang and Zhang Shuiyun, who had been infatuated with her, were both dead. Asterisk. A flying boat arrived near the East City Gate of Huyang City. Here they come. The 7 figures from the city owner's side had long been waiting. Luo He, alongside Morosa, disembarked from the flying boat. Lord Luo He, the Lord of Huyang, approached enthusiastically. In one night, you have killed 2 of the 5 gods of Yuqian and also divine monarch Shui Yun, resolving a major disaster for our Huyang city. Luo Feng said, thanks to the karmic tracing order left by Brother Shong, otherwise, Shui Yun would have fled to Shi Kingdom long ago. Shui Yun was indeed cunning, Mo Li Xiao added. He had been hiding his strength all along, and as soon as his identity was exposed, he immediately sought refuge. Fortunately, Lord Luo He took action and completely eliminated him. Brother Luo He, with your success this time, I too consider my mission accomplished, General Yong said smilingly. After returning to the royal capital, I will surely report Brother Luo his achievements to the godly king. Of course, when he reported the news, he had no idea when the godly king would respond. We have already reported Brother Luo his significant achievements to the Marquis, the Lord of Huyang City said. I believe the Marquis will definitely reward him generously. Huyang City lies within the territory of the Marquis of Jiu Jiang. Thank you all, Luo Feng said. If he could gain some benefits from the godly king of Yu Kingdom or the Marquis of Jiu Jiang, Luo Feng naturally would not refuse, as he, currently weak, needed all resources to grow as swiftly as possible. It's all part of our duty, the Lord of Huyang City said. Whenever you need anything in Huyang City in the future, Brother Luo He, just send a message. Brother Luo He, if you are seeking cultivation resources or some opportunities, you should head to the royal capital, General Yong said. Thank you, General Yong. Luo Feng felt the goodwill from the other. But he had no intention of cultivating right under the eyes of a godly king while he was weak. Once Morosa's identity was exposed, he would immediately become the public enemy of the entire land of origin, so it was wise to be cautious during his weaker phase. Gentlemen, I will make a trip to the Flame Wind Pavilion first, so I'll take my leave now, Luo Feng said. Please. All 7 of them were quite enthusiastic, including the leaders of the Meiwu family and the Wu royal family, who did not mind the past conflict that arose from the killing of Meiwu Qi. When one's strength was sufficient, even smashed teeth had to be swallowed. They were well aware that in the eyes of the godly kings and primal chaos overlords, the value of divine monarch Luo He far exceeded all their border branches combined. Inside a cultivation chamber within Jiujiang city of Jiujiang Primal Chaos Prefecture. In my territory, such a formidable eternal true god has emerged. The Marquis of Jiujiang sat on the floor, with silver hair draped over his shoulders, each strand faintly encompassing endless void, causing the surrounding void to twist completely. Marquis Liu Yin is closing in step by step, and the Huyang city, which is closest to the border, is likely his first target. Luckily, Luo He has appeared at this time, Marquis of Jiujiang contemplated. He too was a primal chaos overlord who had cultivated for extended eons and had comprehended the supreme rules of the origin Great Tao. Although he was still far from reaching a godly king, he nonetheless had deep accumulations and terrifying strength. But Marquis Liu Yin, ranked among the top 5 primal chaos overlords within the Shi Kingdom, indeed had an edge over him, naturally putting him under great pressure. This Luo He has accomplished such great feats in my territory, I naturally have to reward him heavily. And I must also report to the monarch, thought the Marquis of Jiujiang. The monarch has always liked to nurture the younger generations. Because of my report, Luo He will receive the monarch's cultivation, and he should remember this favor. The Marquis of Jiujiang was well aware that such a level of eternal true gods, even if they were to follow someone, would definitely choose among the 5 godly kings of Yu Kingdom. Only a fool would choose him, the Marquis. Whether in terms of heritage, resources, or backing, the godly king was a whole major level stronger than a primal chaos overlord. To make Luo He grateful and willing to help him protect Huyang City, he naturally had to bestow favors. There were 3 large cities in the entire territory, and the continuous residence fees and other resources from a large city were very important to the Marquis of Jiujiang. Monarch, the Marquis of Jiujiang immediately contacted the monarch of Yu Kingdom. Though Yu Kingdom had 5 godly kings, only the one who established Yu Kingdom was referred to by the primal chaos overlords as monarch of Yu Kingdom. With Shi Kingdom's nature of encroachment, they had never initiated a godly king-level confrontation because the monarch of Yu Kingdom was too terrifying. Jiujiang, why have you contacted me? A voice came from afar, and a vague figure covered in hair directly appeared in the Marquis of Jiujiang's mind. The Marquis of Jiu Jiang was much more respectful. The monarch of Yu Kingdom, viewed across the entire land of origin, was an extremely terrifying existence. Monarch, I've discovered a young fellow named Liu Yin in my territory of Huyang City, began the Marquis of Jiu Jiang, his high status allowing him direct contact with the monarch. **************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** he, along with Morosa, had already arrived at a small building within the Flame Wind Pavilion. "Brother Luo He, I admire you greatly," the deputy pavilion master said, his eyes, formed of condensed mist, looking at Luo Feng with a grin. The master of the Flame Wind Pavilion also spoke. "Brother Luo He, did you bring any proof of killing Shui Yun?" Luo Feng extended his hand, holding the corpse of Shui Yun. The master and deputy master of the Flame Wind Pavilion closely examined the body, from which many details could be discerned. A hole was present in the chest of the body, and the true god's heart was missing. Again, he seized the true god's heart. Does he have some void-class killing move that can directly extract the heart? These two descendants of the Emperor Chu lineage from the Flame Wind ancient country, experienced and knowledgeable, speculated wildly. "That should prove it, right?" Luo Feng said. "Of course it does," the deputy master chuckled. "Yu Qianshu and Yu Qianyi's bounties, you taking them together?" Of course, Luo Feng took out Yu Qianshu's weapon and Yu Qianyi's mechanical flow secret treasure. "Here is 13 million cosmic sand." The deputy master took out the bounty that had been prepared earlier, which the task setters had deposited at the Flame Wind Pavilion. Luo Feng received the jade vial, feeling the massive amount of cosmic sand inside, and knew he could be more extravagant in his upcoming days of cultivation. After collecting the bounty, Luo Feng planned to leave. "Brother Luo He, the master of the Flame Wind Pavilion, began with a smile. Allow me to introduce myself. I come from the Emperor Chu lineage of the Flame Wind ancient country, named Emperor Chu Yu. Meeting Brother Luo He in Huyang city of Yu Kingdom is also a kind of fate. The Emperor Chu lineage of the Flame Wind ancient country. Luo Feng, not just any ignorant cultivator, possessing inheritance from two lineages, was very aware of what the Emperor Chu lineage from the Flame Wind ancient country represented. In the vast land of origin, there are countless forces, and it is quite remarkable for any of them to establish a divine kingdom. The strength of these nations varies greatly. Countries like Yu Kingdom and Shi Kingdom are considered second-tier nations, significantly weaker than the mountain-sitting guest's Jin state, which is a real fringe small country. Like the legendary Qianmu Kingdom, which possesses a sector beast, its strength far surpasses that of the Shi Kingdom, Yu Kingdom, and other countries, rightly claiming the status of a first-class nation. Yet, the Flame Wind ancient country and the Thunder ancient country surpass all other nations. According to the information described in the legacy, the most powerful in the Flame Wind ancient country is the Imperial clan. The Imperial clan is fiercely competitive internally, divided into 13 branches, each of which is eligible to vie for the throne. Emperor Chu's lineage is one of these 13 branches. Luo Feng finally understood the grand origin of the master of the Flame Wind Pavilion. "I never expected to meet His Highness Emperor Chu Yu in this small border city," Luo Feng said politely. "I am not entitled to be called Your Highness, I am just an eternal true god. You can simply call me Chu Yu," Emperor Chu Yu said with a smile. The other descendants of the Imperial clan usually put on quite a show outside, but he had no regard for his kinsman. To Emperor Chu Yu, anyone who lacked strength was merely a waste within the Imperial clan. Why else would the Imperial clan allow 13 branches to compete, if not because there were too many incompetents? Emperor Chu Yu generally didn't reveal his identity while wandering outside, for the name Emperor Chu Yu was enough for anyone slightly knowledgeable to guess his connection with Emperor Chu's lineage. Usually, he just went by Chu Yu. "Brother Luo He, you were able to slay Shui Yun, which clearly shows that in all aspects like godly body, realm, and willpower, you have reached an extremely high pinnacle. Within Yu Kingdom, there are very few who could compare to you," Emperor Chu Yu said with a smile. "If you can comprehend the primal chaos laws and become a primal chaos overlord, I can help by recommending you. I dare not promise anything else, but becoming a guest elder of Emperor Chu's lineage should not be difficult." A recommendation to Emperor Chu's lineage of Flame Wind ancient country. Luo Feng couldn't help but ask, "Brother Chu Yu, you think so highly of me? The more he knew, the more he understood how strict the two great ancient countries were in recruiting guest elders. His mentor, mountain-sitting guest, wanted to enter the core of the two great ancient countries, but neither would entertain him. To them, a regular godly king held no significance for the ancient countries. Even if you become a primal chaos overlord from the law lineage, my Emperor Chu's lineage generally would not recruit you. But I am willing to recruit you, Emperor Chu Yu said, looking at Luo Feng. I don't care about your strength, I care about your character. You have been in Huyang City for over 2 decades, and I have seen clearly. Compassion for the weak, deep hatred for the evil. For the sake of your friend Chong Qianyang, you relentlessly pursued Yu Qianshu, Yu Qianyi, and Shui Yun in anger, Emperor Chu Yu said smiling. You deeply value loyalty and righteousness, and naturally, I am willing to befriend you. Nowadays in the land of origin, some mighty individuals possess high talent but are selfish and ruthless. Who knows when you could be betrayed? Luo Feng understood. It turns out that everything he had done had made the imperial clan of the Flame Wind ancient country admire him. Of course, the premise for the recommendation is that I must become a primal chaos overlord, and then I'll be qualified to recommend guest elders. Of course, you must also be of the law lineage in the primal chaos realm, which is already the lowest threshold for recruiting guest elders, Emperor Chu Yu said. The deputy pavilion master laughed and said, Luo He, remember never to fully align yourself with Yu Kingdom just in case you can't break free later. Such remote small countries ultimately have too few opportunities. The monarch of Yu country is just a guest elder of my Flame Wind ancient country, Emperor Chu Yu said. Some remote small countries can't access the real secrets of the land of origin, not to mention top-level resources. It's the same with the master of the Shi Kingdom, who because of his skill in cuisine, is favored by the high echelons of the Flame Wind ancient country, which is why his influence is so extensive, the deputy pavilion master also said. Luo Feng was secretly shocked. The master of the Shi Kingdom skilled in cuisine? Favored by the high echelons of the Flame Wind ancient country? There was even this layer of relationship, something his own collected intelligence did not record. Today is just a preliminary conversation, everything must wait until both you and I reach the law lineage primal chaos realm, Emperor Chu Yu said. Thank you, Brother Chu Yu, Luo Feng was very grateful to him. Soon, Luo Feng took his leave and left. You're recruiting Luo He so early, the deputy pavilion master laughed. Once I achieve the primal chaos realm and get cultivated by our clan, it will be too late to recruit, Emperor Chu Yu said. While I am still relatively free now, I should look for a few suitable assistants. You seem very confident, the deputy pavilion master said. I have completely mastered the 9 moves of the primal chaos realm as recorded in the secret tome, which complement each other well. I feel I am very close to the complete primal chaos laws, Emperor Chu Yu said. The deputy pavilion master was very pleased, a primal chaos overlord with unlimited godly bodies from the law lineage? Ha ha ha, once you succeed, a massive amount of resources from within our clan will be utilized on you. It turns out I made the right choice in helping you. In the land of origin, there were quite a few with unlimited godly bodies who became primal chaos overlords from the law lineage, but the 2 great ancient countries did not care about them. However, if such a genius existed within the imperial clan, that would be different, naturally they would fully cultivate them. Uncle, you have helped me too much, I remember it all, Emperor Chu Yu said. Primal Chaos Armor Cave Mansion number 913. Mu Qingyang was waiting alone there. Yu Qianshu, Yu Qianyi, and even Shui Yun have all been killed. According to what my father said, it's very likely it was the master who did it. Mu Qingyang thought about how the master had not returned all night and felt it was very possible. Divine Monarch Shui Yun's bounty was a full 10 million cosmic sand. Within Huyang City, even the city owner's mansion could do nothing about him. Could my master really have killed him? Mu Qingyang was alone in the cave mansion, lost in wild thoughts. Following his master over these years, he found his master unfathomable. Whoosh! The main gate of the cave mansion suddenly opened, and a flying boat entered. Luo Feng and Morosa alighted from the flying boat. Master, Mu Qingyang immediately greeted them. In the coming times, I will have quite a few visitors, Luo Feng said. Besides a very select few important guests, all others must be refused outright. Yes, Master, Mu Qingyang, having been in service for so long, clearly understood who the important guests were. Moreover, from his master's words, Yu Qingyang also realized that it was likely his own master who had killed Shui Yun. Stop guessing, Yu Qianshu, Yu Qianyi, and Shui Yun were all killed by the master, Morosa said directly. This news won't take long to spread throughout the city. Luo Feng nodded. He had killed several strong individuals from the Shi Kingdom mercilessly, and those from the Shi Kingdom must have had a chance to send out a message before dying. Moreover, the city owner's mansion was also aware that he was the one who had acted. With so many aware, it was bound to become widely known soon enough. Master is formidable, Yu Qingyang felt honored. You should concentrate on your cultivation. You haven't even mastered the 10 fundamental laws yet, Morosa urged. Considering I taught you personally, it's quite a disgrace. I will certainly focus, Yu Qingyang responded immediately. Morosa and I are going to seclude ourselves now, Luo Feng declared, and then he led Morosa to the underground hall. In the underground hall, he first released the Star Tower, and both Luo Feng and Morosa entered it. I've given you your food. Luo Feng placed all the corpses of eternal true gods in one of the layers of the Star Tower's space. You can digest it slowly on your own. Thank you, Master. I have a feeling that this time my strength will increase significantly, maybe enough to reach the primal chaos realm, Morosa said excitedly. Among the various foods this time, the first was the corpse of Yu Qianshu, whose bloodline was extraordinary, and his godly body was comparable to the unlimited godly bodies. The assistance provided by devouring this godly body far exceeded ordinary godly bodies. And the corpse of Shui Yun was even more attractive to Morosa than that of Yu Qianshu. This was indeed an unprecedented feast. Immediately, Morosa dived into his designated lair in the Star Tower and started to enjoy the sumptuous meal. Morosa's strength is increasing rapidly. Maybe he will reach the primal chaos realm before me, Luo Feng thought. Unfortunately, any normal cultivator understanding the law of primal chaos has to accumulate it slowly. Even Emperor Chu Yu, of the imperial family of the Flame Wind ancient country, also had to wander through various places in the land of origin, enduring long years of arduous cultivation. Comparing cultivation speeds with Morosa was indeed asking for self-punishment. My spiritual will should be sufficient now, Luo Feng considered. Even when he was still a true god, his spiritual will had reached the peak of primal chaos overlord. Lately, he broke through from true god to eternal true god in a short time. His godly body was much stronger, and his soul was much more powerful as well. Although a weak soul can also have strong will. The soul is the bearer of will. The weaker the soul, the more difficult it is to enhance will. My soul now is much stronger than when I was a true god, and having cultivated the Great Destruction Heart Refining Technique and the 7 Emotions of Heart Refining Technique from the Lai Yuan Technique for over 2 decades, I feel that I have been making slow progress, but there has been no qualitative change yet. Will, transitioning from the primal chaos realm to godly king, is indeed a fundamental transformation and quite challenging. The resources I've gained this time are plentiful enough that I need to acquire some treasures specifically for will cultivation, Luo Feng firmly decided, with the bounty this time and numerous spoils of war, nearly 30 million cosmic sand. Plus what Brother Shong gave, accumulating just over 30 million cosmic sand. I must transform these resources into strength. Being so wealthy, it was natural to accelerate his own cultivation pace. Shi Kingdom, Liu Yin primal chaos state, within a secluded hall. A figure in dark red armor sat there, his eyes 2 blazing orbs of crimson flame, spreading an aura of dark calamity. Yu Qianshu, Yu Qianyi, and Shui Yun, all dead. Marquis Liu Yin whispered softly. This Luo He, a close friend of Shong Qianyang, went on a vengeful killing spree after Shong Qianyang's death. His nature of detesting evil makes it difficult to use him for my purposes, Marquis Liu Yin realized. He reached out to touch a crystal sphere in front of him. This crystal sphere was a complete universe personally crafted by a godly king, with an internal space of trillions of light-years in diameter, teeming with countless creatures living and cultivating. He cherished this crystal sphere, for the universe had nurtured some of his subordinates and even produced hundreds of eternal true gods, all small feats in his eyes. What he loved most was the feeling of controlling the entire evolutionary process of the universe and the lives of countless creatures, which was also a form of cultivation for spiritual will. With Luo He in Huyang City, the original plan is no longer suitable, Marquis Liu Yin thought. Well then, let's concede some resources of Huyang City and have the Heartshadow Sect make a move. The Shi Kingdom, Liu Yin City, within a colossal cave mansion measuring hundreds of millions of kilometers, lies the stronghold of a sect called the Heartshadow Sect. A three-eyed man draped in a grey robe sat on the mountaintop, his three eyes gazing into the vast night sky, yet feeling somewhat lost inside. The land of origin is boundless and endless, but there's no place for my Heartshadow Sect to take root, the three-eyed man sighed silently. All the grand states and many powerful forces have long taken up every piece of land. Even the most marginal and dangerous areas are occupied by those ancient natives of the land of origin. Our Heartshadow Sect only needs a large city to establish a stronghold in. But within a state, every primal chaos prefecture has its master. How can they possibly just give us a large city? The three-eyed man felt pretty helpless. The foundation of a sect relies on the primal chaos ruins. Only near the primal chaos ruins does the sect disciples have a sliver of hope in becoming primal chaos realm. Otherwise, there's no hope at all. Moreover, the large number of disciples in the sect consumes too much. Only the endless resources of a large city can support the development of the sect. The three-eyed man was very troubled, but without hope for a long time. The Heartshadow Sect will only grow weaker, and more disciples will leave. As the master of the Heartshadow Sect, I'm only commanding less than 20% of the full complement of disciples from the sect's heyday. The three-eyed man felt powerless too. He was still upholding the true lineage of the Heartshadow Sect. Those that had split off had long since formed their own factions, even changing their names. My Heartshadow Sect was a grand faction established by a godly king. Even after the godly king's fall, before the split, there were 3 primal chaos overlords within the sect. The three-eyed man just felt sad, but with 1 dead and 2 escaped, the Heartshadow Sect, without the protection of the primal chaos realm, kept splintering and losing disciples. Even I have to rely on the protection of Marquis Liu Yin to maintain the Heartshadow Sect name, the three-eyed man silently said. Marquis Liu Yin is very powerful. Among all the primal chaos realm masters in the Shi Kingdom, he is a terrifying existence that can be ranked in the top 5. The Heartshadow Sect indeed has a formidable enemy. It led to the death of 1 and the escape of 2 among the 3 primal chaos realm masters of the sect. However, with Marquis Liu Yin merely protecting a group of Heartshadow Sect disciples below the primal chaos realm, that formidable enemy of the Heartshadow Sect could only tolerate it. HM? The three-eyed man sensed something, looking to his side as the figure of a blood-red fiery silhouette materialized out of thin air. Marquis, the three-eyed man immediately stood up, showing his utmost respect. Marquis Liu Yin looked at him and said, every large city within the territory of the Shi Kingdom has its masters, and there are even branches of great clans and the royal family involved in each of them. I'm unable to secure a foundation for your sect. Just for Marquis Liu Yin's protection, we at the Heartshadow Sect are already endlessly grateful, said the three-eyed man with utmost respect. Now I'm giving you an opportunity to secure a foundation for your sect, stated Marquis Liu Yin. The three-eyed man's eyes brightened. Marquis, please command me. He had been waiting for this day. Without the nod from a godly king or primal chaos overlord, the Heartshadow Sect did not dare to forcefully occupy any large city. There are 3 large cities in the adjoining Jiu Jiang Primal Chaos Prefecture, to my fief, said Marquis Liu Yin. They are Huyang City, Shuyin City, and Jiu Jiang City. Among them, the Marquis of Jiu Jiang lives in Jiu Jiang City. I need your Heartshadow Sect to help me capture Huyang City and Shuyin City. As for Jiu Jiang City, there's no need for you to make a move. Capture 2 large cities. The three-eyed man felt the pressure too. If we attack the Marquis of Jiu Jiang's fiefs, the Marquis of Jiu Jiang will likely take action. After all, if they attack the fief of a primal chaos overlord, it would be natural for the opposite party to react. I will bestow upon you a space-time treasure, said Marquis Liu Yin. If the Marquis of Jiu Jiang takes action, I will utilize this treasure to traverse space-time and arrive directly. I will personally deal with the Marquis of Jiu Jiang. The three-eyed man breathed a sigh of relief. Rest assured, there is a tacit understanding in the conflict between the Shi Kingdom and Yu Kingdom, and eternal true gods will fight each other, but primal chaos overlords won't easily step in. The Marquis of Jiu Jiang will do everything possible to mobilize eternal true gods. Unless driven to desperation, it's unlikely for him to take action personally, said Marquis Liu Yin. Even if pushed to the brink, and we fully occupy the entire Jiu Jiang Primal Chaos Prefecture, I doubt he would dare to make a move. The three-eyed man nodded, facing Marquis Liu Yin. The Marquis of Jiu Jiang is naturally no match. I'm actually somewhat looking forward to his intervention, Marquis Liu Yin commented with anticipation. At their level, they follow strict rules. After all, both the Shi Kingdom and the Yu Kingdom are powerful states. The master of the Shi Kingdom has a special relationship with the Flame Wind Ancient Country, but the monarch of Yu Country is also a guest elder in the Flame Wind Ancient Country. Both sides have connections. That is why when Mountain Sitting Guest first fled the land of origin, the Shi Kingdom and Yu Kingdom were situated side by side. Now, as Mountain Sitting Guest has returned and Luo Feng has penetrated the cycle of reincarnation, the Shi Kingdom and Yu Kingdom are still neighbors, with only minor changes in the borderlands. The two great nations dare not easily break the rules, because the price for breaking them would be very, very high. I will give you detailed intelligence on Jiu Jiang Primal Chaos Prefecture, with a specific emphasis on an eternal true god called Lord Luo He, said Marquis Liu Yin. Yes, the three-eyed man replied, asking, Marquis, after capturing the two large cities, where will the Heartshadow Sect be stationed? Huyang City will be given to you, Marquis Liu Yin said. You only need to give me 20% of the residence fee collected from the citizens of Huyang City every century, and another 20% to the God Kings. You can keep the remaining 60%, and the entire Huyang City, the royal capital, won't send a manager. The entire city will be managed by you. Yes, the three-eyed man said, somewhat excited. Apart from having to pay 40% of the residence fee every century, the entire Huyang City would now belong to the Heartshadow Sect, thus providing a solid foundation for its long-term development. A large city with a vast population was a source of unending resources. Even though the residence fee was the most important, there were also plenty of other resources to be had. The prerequisite is that you must capture Huyang City and Shuyin City, Marquis Liu Yin said. You need to prepare well, and it would be best to call back some disciples who have left. Jiu Jiang Primal Chaos Prefecture is not that easy to deal with. I understand, the three-eyed man was very aware of the situation. Although Marquis Jiu Jiang had Marquis Liu Yin to contend with, the large group of eternal true gods under Marquis Jiu Jiang's command, as well as the elite forces they could muster, were not to be trifled with. They must call back the disciples who left. To make the Heartshadow Sect strong enough. To form a power that overwhelms the opposition. He did not want to capture two large cities only to be severely weakened afterward. Marquis Liu Yin nodded. After all, the Heartshadow Sect was established by a godly king, and even now there are two Primal Chaos Realm fugitives outside, with deep-rooted influence. They should be able to capture Jiu Jiang Primal Chaos Prefecture, Marquis Liu Yin thought to himself. He would leave such a tough job to the Heartshadow Sect. If a bunch of disciples from the sect died, Marquis Liu Yin would not feel a thing. In Huyang City, within Cave Mansion 913 of the Primal Chaos Armor Sector, this mansion was one of the smaller ones in the sector, inconspicuous, but it had now become one of the most prestigious within the whole of Huyang City. It had many visitors, yet none could even see a glimpse of Lord Luo He. Underground in the ceremonial hall within Star Tower, Morosa was naturally absorbing and digesting the godly body. Luo Feng, through the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall, was gathering intelligence, comparing it with information from the God King Jin lineage and the Duandong River lineage to decide what treasures to buy. As for the primal chaos laws, I still need more time to accumulate. But in terms of willpower, I should be close to making a breakthrough. I'll buy a strange treasure that aids in willpower cultivation first, Luo Feng resolved to himself. If his own willpower could break through to the godly king level, then his ability to deal with danger would greatly increase. Treasures that assist in cultivating willpower are all incredibly expensive, Luo Feng lamented. No option, because his own will was at the peak of primal chaos overlord. Common strange treasures could be ignored for his purposes. He had to buy a treasure used by primal chaos overlords. Naturally, every single one was very expensive. I can only afford one of the cheaper ones. Luo Feng immediately contacted the Flame Wind Association's Dark Hall. I would like to purchase a Calamity Beast diagram. Lord Luo He, the Calamity Beast diagram is personally rendered by an ancient being of the Flame Wind ancient country. Even just looking at a corner of the Calamity Beast diagram requires a willpower of the Primal Chaos Realm level. If your willpower is below that of the Primal Chaos Realm, even catching a glimpse of a corner would drive you completely mad, the Dark Hole responded. Are you sure you still want to purchase it? I need to buy it, Luo Feng was adamant. Such an expensive item he had already verified through gathering information. Our Flame Wind Association publicly sells each copy of the Calamity Beast diagram for a fixed price of 15 million cosmic sand, the Dark Hole replied. You just need to pay the fee at any of our Dark Hole branches, and within 10 days, the Calamity Beast diagram will be delivered to you. Luo Feng felt the pain in his wallet. 15 million cosmic sand for one diagram. But there was no choice. Out of the willpower cultivation treasures that primal chaos overlords often used, the Calamity Beast diagram ranked in the top 3 in terms of cost effectiveness. This top 3, the cheapest, was the Calamity Beast diagram. Cheap, effective, with a lower degree of risk. To primal chaos overlords, indeed this price was considered very cheap. Some more expensive treasures could even cost over 100 million cosmic sand. For primal chaos overlords, who owned a fiefdom and had a constant supply of residence fees, even a treasure costing upwards of 100 million cosmic sand was within their means, albeit with some gritted teeth. With my current wealth, this is the best willpower treasure I can afford. Luo Feng felt that compared to primal chaos overlords, he was still too poor. Meanwhile, under the cover of night, an emissary from Marquis Jiu had already arrived in Huyang City. Brother, the white-haired elder greeted warmly a white-haired youth. To think that Marquis personally sent you on this mission. The Marquis indeed places great importance on this matter. He instructed me personally, so I had to rush here as quickly as possible, the white-haired youth, Jian Yuyo, said. Big brother, where is Lord Luo He right now? The white-haired elder answered, he's in his cave mansion. After killing Yu Tianshu, Yu Tianyi, and Shui Yun, he first went to collect the bounty at the Flame Wind Pavilion. After that, he returned to his mansion and has refused all visitors. I'm here on behalf of Marquis to meet with him. He won't refuse to see me, Jian Yuyo asked. It would be embarrassing to be turned away at the mansion gate. Don't worry, I've asked Mo Yu Hu to contact his son, Mo Yu Qingyang, first to make sure everything is in order before we pay a visit, the white-haired elder explained. Luo Feng was sitting in front of the pavilion on the mountaintop, drinking the highly toxic, black marsh fruit wine, while simultaneously practicing the Great Destruction heart-refining technique. Only with this practice could he achieve a considerable effect on honing his will. This black marsh fruit wine, the more I drink it, the more I enjoy its taste. Luo Feng liked the sensation that influenced his entire godly body and even his soul. There was no helping it, his godly body had grown increasingly terrifying after 3 body refinements. Whoosh! Mo Yu Qingyang soared up the mountain and said respectfully, Master, the city owner's mansion has sent a message. Marquis of Jiu has dispatched an envoy who wishes to visit you. An envoy from the Marquis of Jiu. Luo Feng was surprised. Master, do you wish to see him? Mo Yu Qingyang asked. Of course, I should. Your master isn't so arrogant as to snub a marquis, Luo Feng said with a smile. Tell the city owner's mansion that my place welcomes the envoy at any time. Indeed, many had come to visit him tonight, and Luo Feng had refused all of them before. Within Huyang City, there was a mix of dragons and fish, so many eternal true gods from various powers that Luo Feng actually looked down upon. However, many of these powers had branches in Huyang City affiliated with the great forces of the land of origin. Behind these forces might be entities at the primal chaos realm or even godly kings. Therefore, Luo Feng did not want to involve himself too deeply with the branches of these great forces. Getting too involved often meant losing control of one's own fate. The best way was to keep a distance from them right from the start. These branches' eternal true gods held low status and couldn't offer good conditions. Besides, there would be many affairs to deal with. Emperor Chu Yu held a high status and could offer sufficiently attractive conditions, which moved Luo Feng. Of course, only after Emperor Chu Yu and Luo Feng had both advanced to the primal chaos realm through the law lineage would Emperor Chu Yu's invitation become a possibility. Personal talent is important, but external resources are equally vital. Luo Feng was clear on this. Even for him, he might not have reached where he was today without the resources given by his mentor, the mountain-sitting guest. In a land of origin, the most precious resources were controlled by the two ancient countries. With the assistance of imperial clan resources of the Flame-Wind ancient country, I could grow even higher. Only then could I be more confident about helping my mentor deal with great enemies. Mo Li Meng, accompanied by the silver-haired young man Jiang Yuyo, came to visit Luo Feng, and among the 5 great families, Mo Li Meng was the most familiar with Luo Feng. Please. Inside the pavilion atop the mountain, Luo Feng, Jiang Yuyo, and Mo Li Meng took their seats. Commander Jiang is one of the 4 trusted aides of the Marquis and holds a position in Jiu Jiang City that is above many generals, Mo Li Meng introduced from the side. Luo Feng nodded. I have heard of Commander Jiang's name even here in Huyang City. He did not wish to live under the primal chaos overlord scrutiny, but he was familiar with the basic information about Jiu Jiang City. The core military forces of Jiu Jiang City were commanded by 4 trusted aides and 16 generals, making it much stronger than the forces of either Huyang City or Shuyin City. Compared to brother Luo He, I fall far behind, the silver-haired young Jiang Yuyo said with a smile. His strength was comparable to that of Mo Li Xiao, both far from the likes of General Yong or Shui Yun. In the entire Yu Kingdom, there are few who can compare to brother Luo He, Mo Li Meng also flattered. Commander Jiang, you've come in such a hurry tonight? Luo Feng asked him. Jiang Yuyo replied, Brother Luo He, your defeat of Yu Qianshu, Yu Qianyi, and Shui Yun was reported to the Marquis, who was overjoyed. He immediately ordered me to rush to Huyang City overnight and hand this list to Brother Luo He, from which you may choose any one item. As he spoke, Jiang Yuyo took out a scroll, which flew in front of Luo Feng. Unfolding the scroll, Luo Feng took a glance. Void 9 Refinement Secret Manual, First Volume, Godly King Level Inheritance. 7 Meteor Killing Method, a complete Primal Chaos Realm Inheritance. There were descriptions for 9 inheritances in total. Aside from the first one, Void 9 Refinement Secret Manual, First Volume, which was a Godly King level inheritance, the rest were all Primal Chaos Realm inheritances. Luo Feng marveled inwardly, for the Marquis of Jiu Jiang had indeed been generous. After all, even the Duandong River lineage only had a total of 3 Godly King level inheritances. The Marquis of Jiu Jiang himself likely mastered several Godly King level inheritances. Of those available for him to impart, perhaps this was the only one. This Void 9 Refinement Secret Manual, First Volume, just from the name, one could infer it's related to the Great Tao of Void Origin, which isn't very suitable for me, Luo Feng thought to himself. As one who inherited 2 lineages, Luo Feng was very clear on this matter. Primal Chaos Realm sovereigns mastered the law of primal chaos. To become a godly king? One must comprehend the origin Great Tao, contained within supreme rules, like the sector beast Morosa who was born with the Great Tao of Destruction origin. Luo Feng had not studied the Void lineage in depth and did not plan on pursuing that path. Among these 9 inheritances, you, Brother Luo He, may choose anyone. Each one is of immense value, especially the Void 9 Refinement Secret Manual, First Volume. That is a Godly King level inheritance, truly a rare opportunity, Jiang Yuyo said. The Marquis values Brother Luo He greatly and is willing to nurture you with all his might. If you choose none of these inheritances, you can also select 10 million cosmic sand. After thinking for a moment, Luo Feng said, 10 million cosmic sand then. Jiang Yuyo seemed slightly startled. He chose neither the Godly King level inheritance. Indeed, as the Marquis had speculated, such an impressive eternal true god must already possess a powerful inheritance. All right, the Marquis will personally deliver the 10 million cosmic sand to you through the Flame Wind Pavilion, Jiang Yuyo said. Please thank the Marquis on my behalf, Luo Feng said. The Marquis also personally contacted the monarch of Yu country about you, Jiang Yuyo mentioned. The monarch was also pleased that Yu Kingdom has such an outstanding talent like you, Brother Luo He. He said it won't be long before an opportunity arises, and at that time, the monarch will send an envoy with it for Brother Luo He. Luo Feng promptly rose to his feet. Please convey my thanks to the Marquis and to the monarch. Without the Marquis of Jiu pushing the matter, it might have taken some time for conflicts involving eternal true gods to reach the monarch. With the Marquis reporting personally, for the sake of giving face to his subordinate in the primal chaos realm, the monarch of Yu country would surely make some kind of gesture. So for this, I really must thank the Marquis, as well as the monarch of Yu country. The good intentions of a godly king cannot be ignored by Luo Feng as if he were an uninvolved deity. Brother Luo He has contributed so much to Huyang City, receiving these rewards is only natural. The Marquis has always been this way, whoever earns merit points, the Marquis will never let them go unrewarded, said Jiang Guyo. However, the Marquis Liu Yin of Shi Kingdom will probably not let this go. If Huyang City encounters trouble again, I'm afraid we'll still need Brother Luo his help. Luo Feng smiled and said, how much can the effort of one person affect the situation? In the end, it still depends on the city owner's mansion. Please rest assured about the conflicts between Shi Kingdom and Yu Kingdom, Brother Luo He. The eternal true gods will not bully the weak in their struggles in the primal chaos realm, Jiang Guyo explained. Otherwise, if both sides were to bully the weaker ones, they would have already fought to the point of causing the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. I understand, Luo Feng nodded. This was an unspoken rule, not just in Yu Kingdom and Shi Kingdom, but across the entire land of origin. An eternal true god, unless unprovoked, the primal chaos overlord, for the sake of face, would not target the weak. But in cases like Yin Kang's, where one has killed the offspring of a primal chaos overlord, it would be normal for the outraged primal chaos overlord to take action personally. Or when primal chaos overlords kill each other in battle, one of them, in a bid to save their own life, naturally can do anything. Slaughtering innocents to force the opponent to stop, swallowing a large city whole to restore divine power, in the face of survival, no amount of face matters anymore. This episode is end here.